Guys, deluded. YouTube's Lucas Torreira. I'm back again. Alexandre Lacazette, you guys know I'm a big fan of his. I'm not here to say a man's world class, he's this, he's that, and the third, but I'm a fan of his. Purely because when he signed for us, I was happy. I knew he was a bad boy footballer, but when he played for us, the one thing that shocked me was his technical level. Like, obviously, you saw him at Lyon scoring free kicks and linking up, but obviously, it's only when you watch a player for your club, because you watch a club week in, week out, and you see their characteristics. It shocked me how intelligent. I'm not knocking his intelligence, but like the level of intelligence and technical quality he's at. Like, in another world, he could probably be a number 10, like Bold said, a creative midfielder, sort of, man, because his link up, obviously exaggerating a bit, but because of his play, like, for me, again, you're a striker, ultimately you're judged on goals, and his record, both in France and since he started Arsenal, might not be the best at Arsenal, but it's actually better than the narrative and what he was doing at Lyon. He's a sharp shooter, didn't score too many goals outside the area, didn't relied on service a bit, but he's a good finisher, and he's shown that even with what he scored 16, 17 goals last year, he was our top goal scorer despite not playing 90 minutes, being on the bench sometimes. He was playing with a knee injury, which probably restricted him playing with freedom. And now he's playing with freedom, which is good. But yeah, and he's shown that he's on big games. I mean, hopefully his record's there again, but he's got an assist against Spurs and Liverpool. He scored against United and he bagged against City. So that's what? 4 out of 6 of the top six. 4 out of 5 excluding us. So that shows he's on the big games. I love his passion. For me, his playmaking's underrated. Obviously, we can all see when him and Aubameyang are playing together, we need that. They complement each other well. Lacazette can drop deep, and he's better than Aubameyang at that. Whereas Aubameyang's better at him at probably running in behind and stuff. And they complement each other. They create space for each other. Lacazette drops deep to create space and leaves gaps. Aubameyang's running leaves gaps they can both take advantage of. They're both clearly friends, so it's a good thing. But I think he's really slept on. Clearly, I don't know if Aubameyang should be the top dog as a striker. I do. If you were to ask me, if you played both of them, 38 games, no give or take, who is going to score more goals, it's difficult for me. I'd probably say Aubameyang, but I really like Lacazette, people, so probably my judgment's a bit clouded, but he's very slept on at this club. Like, very slept on. Like, Wenger clearly rated him. He bought him but was messing around. Remember, he rates him but was messing around. Only they know what Aubameyang gives them versus not playing Lacazette when only one plays at the top. We can all give our opinions, which I have been, so I don't want to get into that. But you can see it in it. For me, they both needs to play. There's another conversation to have when both of them are playing. If both of them are not quite at it and it's not happening, who do we bring off the bench? There's not really anyone. But they both need to play for me, man, because they're really good, man. He had a very hard last season last year. End of the day, he was our top goal scorer, but he had injury. He probably lost his confidence a bit. Probably a bit of poor form. Missed out on the World Cup. And this season, he had a good pre-season and then he was instantly benched for the first 3 games. He probably can forgive him for at 27 years of age. Might have considered moving. I doubt it, but because of you just look at how they look in training. But the narrative was he might have left. But for me, they've got to play, man. They've really got to, like, he's really slept on, man. His playmaking. Even if you look at what he's been, I got some stats here. I mean, he's got 8 goals, 2 assists. He's been involved in 10 goals in his last 9 starts for Arsenal. So that shows you someone that needs to start. And this is Unai Emery talking on him. I knew him from Lyon, from his time at Lyon. I know he has a big capacity to score when the team gives him good chances. He has a very good data for scoring. He showed us. I think many important things happen on the pitch. The reaction is very important. We're going to do it each match and day the same we needed to win. After they equalised 2 times, I think the reaction was very good. So yeah, man, I think, like I said, people underestimate his playmaking ability because, yeah, Ozil's the hub in the team, but when Lacazette is on the pitch, you saw for the second goal, him and Torreira, like he might be a bit one-footed, but he provides an option. He's not afraid to come deep, link up, cute little flicks, things like that. You saw the goal between Ozil and Lacazette and Aubameyang. When Aubameyang scored, he brings other players in, he brings other players to life. When he was on the pitch, it's no coincidence. I mean, obviously, he was on the pitch for the whole 90, but it's no coincidence second half when he started to up it. You saw Ramsey starting to do that all-action, deep line, running and stuff. Ozil with that majestic crap. Everybody making runs. He was gassing everyone. So I really think we need to just play our best players. Simply just play our best players. Stop messing around. Just play our best players. I'm not saying they both have to play every game. 10 games, I want to see them play 10 games together. If you was to give me the 10 next games, I'd want them to start 10 games, but I'd want them to start the next 10, but ultimately things happen in games. There's games where one's going to be at where another's not. There's going to be games where we need to be rigid and we don't expect to have the ball, and which we probably try to do against City, and we start Aubameyang to try and take advantage of that with Ramsey. There's different options. I even don't necessarily think that it has to be Aubameyang playing on the flanks. It could be Lacazette at a time. They both mix it up. So yeah, man, there's a lot. I really rate him, man. Like I said, he got 16 or so goals last year. The case for me, he needs to score 20 in the league. They both do, but that's a very difficult task, because if it was a thing where if Lacazette was in Lukaku's position, I'd probably be a bit more confident in the sense that, you know, Lukaku is more, unless something happens, he's playing week in, week out. Arsenal do this foolishness where Lacazette next game might find himself on the bench. So if he's not given a realistic opportunity, how could he not? But look at last year. With all that being said, he was only three off Lukaku. I'm a Lukaku fan, so I'm not trying to pitch them together. He's just the one in my head, people. So yeah, I don't think Lacazette's a world class striker, but he's a top class one. Like, he's very good. He's clearly one of the best in the league. I mean, without listing everyone, we'll just talk about Spurs. Kane is clearly better than Lacazette, without a doubt. Obviously, you've got the Sergios. We don't need to speak about them, but he could be a decent player for us. I think he's very underrated for us in the sense that everyone knows his ability, but when you deep it, we don't really know what we're getting from half these players, and we know with minimum Lacazette, he's gonna play make, he's gonna put in an effort, he's gonna put in the shift. I really think he deserves more credit than he's given, man. So yeah, in 43 Arsenal games, that can't be right, because he must have 16 goals if he scored 16 last year. But the stats I got offline, it said in 43 Arsenal games, I'm just going to change it. He had 16 goals and 6 assists. I'm sure that's not right. For Lyon, obviously, he had 275 games, 129 goals and 43 assists. You cannot have this on the bench. You really can't have this on the bench. Personally, I've written it down as well. I think I don't know why I made this a note when I could have just said it, but I've got as my notes. I think one of Xhaka, Ramsey, Ozil might have to sit out for Lacazette. I see how they are needed in their own rights, which I have said. Ozil finding pockets, Ramsey all action, and Xhaka deep line. But I feel one could be benched in the sense to allow more stability defensively, in my opinion, because I do believe with Lacazette and Aubameyang, Lacazette definitely tracks back. He's made 2 fouls. I've led to goals. Ozil's been putting in the shift. Ramsey, when he wants to. Xhaka is Xhaka, to say the least. I do think there's too much Disney Channel stuff going on this side. We need to put a bit more nastiness in that side with all of them. But that's for another day. Either way, I think Lacazette's a bad boy. He's too good for the bench, man. And like he's shown in his starts, he's on this. Obviously, I'm not saying different options, different tactics for different games, but play your best players. Everybody else does it. We just need to play our best players. You've tweaked and experimented with the side Uno, and you need to keep continuing that. But one thing that shouldn't be in debate is your 2 best players up front in Aubameyang and Lacazette, to be fair. Yeah. As poor as Xhaka has been, something needs to be done in midfield, because I do think it's just Guendouzi on his own consistently receiving off the centre halves, give or take, and there's a discrepancy because there's space lacking in our side at times between when one midfield drops and the 2 ahead. But you see in the same way you see the creativity removed to a degree when Xhaka is taken out the side. That shouldn't be the case. There's a serious problem with midfield, whether it's creativity being removed when Xhaka comes out the side, whether it's players staying too further up the pitch, whether it's Guendouzi being a bit careless in possession, and the gaps in midfield. There's several things wrong with our midfield, in my opinion. And again, it's not a quick fix, but when you look at all of Uno's previous works, the midfield seemed to be a key area, and I'm not seeing really any improvement in that regard, so I have to talk about it. It's not a criticism, I'm just airing that for cause for concern. But there's nothing more to say on that front, man. Guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe and do the rest if you wish. I'm out.